Okay, so question 30 asks, all of the following are contrasts integral to the poem except happiness and sorrow, past and present, light and dark, illusion and reality, or fusion and separation. And for this, I got happiness and sorrow because this is the only contrast that is not really highlighted in the poem. So to do this, to answer this question correctly, you kind of have to read through the poem and be able to identify different examples of the different contrasts and figure out which one really isn't in there. And so that's how I got happiness and sorrow. Just to kind of reinforce this, some examples of the other ones include, like, for past and present, here he's like looking into the sky and then all of a sudden he sees a flashback. A white vet's image floats closer to me. Then his pale eyes look through mine. So obviously here he's thinking about maybe one of his peers, like soldiers that lost a life or was in some type of medical emergency. So that's a flashback. And then right from there, it kind of goes back to reality, where like Black Mirror, which is like talking about the actual memorial. And further down, this kind of goes, and then right actually after that, there's kind of one that highlights the contrast between illusion and reality, because he keeps kind of tricking himself into seeing like things from his war experience. So this is an example. In the Black Mirror, a woman's trying to erase names. No, she's brushing a boy's hair. So this, like, he keeps trying to feel, he has so many feelings about the war and doesn't really know how to handle them. And so immediately when he sees this, he's like, oh, this person's trying to take away our credit. But then, so that's kind of like the illusion. And then reality is, oh no, she's just brushing a boy's hair. She's very innocent in this whole thing. Another one is light and dark. And that's kind of referenced right away at the beginning. Depending on the light. So I turn that way. I'm inside the Vietnam Veterans Memorial again, depending on the light to make a difference. So that's kind of that reference to lightness. And then we go down here in the Black Mirror, which is kind of more of like a word for darkness. So that's the contrast. And then fusion and separation, that kind of goes along with how he goes down to find his own name because he was a part of it, but unlike some of his friends, he's still living, and that's kind of that separation. Like, he's back in America, safe, I guess, for the most part, and so he feels separated from them, but at the same time connected, because his name should be on that wall somewhere. And see, half expecting to find my own. So yeah, and then he does, this whole poem kind of has like a dreary, sorrowful tone and mood to it, but there's not really any happy part of it. So that's not a contrast. There is sadness, but there's no happiness. So we can't really call that a contrast or an important, like something that kind of really influences the meaning of the poem or is integral to the poem. So yeah, that's how I got that.